Zini. I have a few questions for you. How many years of schooling did you do and where did you attend? Was your major related to your current profession or is it different?
Okay, so how many years of schooling for occupational therapy? Well, first of all, I'm an occupational therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated August 2017, so I'm like kind of fresh. I'm considered a new grad, I guess you could say. The school I attended was West Coast University in Los Angeles. I was the fifth cohort, so I was fairly new in that. Just got accredited a couple of cohort members before me. Um, and that was a 2-year program. So it was a year and a half of classes, and then the last 6 months was field work. So 3 months in one setting and then 3 months in another setting. So what I did was a neuro outpatient setting, and then the other one was an acute rehab setting. And my major for my bachelor's degree was behavioral science. And for occupational therapy, it's unlike physical therapy, where physical therapy is mainly looking for um, majors related to their profession, such as kinesiology. But with occupational therapy, you could go whatever degree that you have. So what I had was behavioral science. So that was a mix of political science, sociology, and psychology. It wasn't specifically catered to OT, but in a sense it was, because it helped me, like, I guess you could say, know the behaviors of the patients, especially in the setting I work in now, which is psych. So yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, second question. When and how did you realize this profession is what you wanted to do for the rest of your life, or is it?
So funny story. I first learned about OT because, I don't know if you know, but 51st Dates. So
Mm-hmm.
when Drew Barrymore was at the end of the movie, where she's like painting with, like all these adults that had mental illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
I asked my mom, like, oh, that's so interesting. Like, what profession is that? She's like, oh, that's an OT. It really isn't. Like, I don't know why she said that, but like that's what introduced me to OT. And so that's when I looked into it, and then I started volunteering in pediatrics at a hospital, and then at the VA hospital with older geriatric patients. Uh, and that's when I kind of knew, like, wow, like this is such an amazing profession, because you could go anywhere with it. You could go from babies to teens to young adults. You could go work in schools, at the VA hospital. Like, you could even work at women's shelters. So I knew that this progression, I could land in whatever setting, like, I wanted to be in, and I wouldn't be restricted to one setting. Um, so that's how, like, I kind of knew, like this is my profession. Like, I really want to do this. I fell in love with everything about it, and is and then what was the last part? Oh, and is yeah, like, honestly, I want to be an OT for the rest of my life, and I know I could go anywhere with it. And my future goal is to possibly make my own rehab team as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Third question. Describe your typical workday as an occupational therapist.
So right now, let's see, working in a skilled nursing facility, I come in, I clock in, I review all of my patients first, and then I write down who the physical therapist and speech therapist I would be working with, and we kind of talk about what we're going to do with these patients throughout the day. So we kind of set up a game plan, which never goes as planned, ever, but we try to set up a game plan of what we want to do with these patients. And then we go on with our treatments, which usually is about, preparing is like 30 minutes, just about, and then we are treating patients for the next 6-7 hours, and then the rest of the time is just documentation. So what it is for Medicare, we just write down exactly like what we did for the day and if they progressed or declined.
Oh, wow. Okay. For number 4, how would you describe the working atmosphere and the people with whom you work with?
So right now, my working atmosphere fear is crazy, literally. I work at a psych facility, so it's a lockdown facility and a double lockdown facility.
Wow.
So I work with a lot of patients with schizophrenia, bipolar, or even something simple as dementia. So literally every day is different. Actually, no, every hour is different. Like one patient could be lovey-dovey 1 second, and then you turn around like a 360, and all of a sudden they're throwing things at you.
Oh.
Like, it's an interesting setting to be in, but I love it because it keeps me on my toes. Mm-hmm. And like the people that I work with too, they're amazing. Like with this setting specifically, you really have to have humor, I guess. I want to say dark humor as sad as it is, but you can't take things personally with things like this because the patients will literally call you all these names, like any bad name that you think of, they will call you that, and you'll be called that every day. But I love my setting I work with.
Oh, awesome. Well, that's good. Okay, so number 5. When you interact with your clients, do you pay close attention to their feelings? Explain how you would approach a troubled or difficult client, for example, a patient who does not want to participate in the exercise or session.
So definitely, yes. I just had this discussion with somebody that we're very, as therapists, patient-driven. So, you can't force a patient to do anything that they don't want to do, whether or not it does benefit them. So really paying attention to their feelings is necessary. And even if that means like I have to come back 3 times until they feel good and ready, then that's what it's going to have to be. So if they don't want to exercise, a lot of the times with the patients, we'll come in and be like, no, I don't want to do it. And then we say, okay, I'm going to come back in an hour. Okay, they don't want to do it. And then our next step would be like, okay, what time do you want to exercise or do your therapy? And let me know what you want to do. So do you want to do exercises? Do you want to play games? And with OT, you could incorporate games and activities that may just seem like simple games and activities, but we're really looking at the little details. So, let's just say it's oh, I want to make jewelry. Okay, cool. Maybe that will be someone I could be working with fine motor skills. So there's that's the great thing about OT. Every activity, you could find something that they need to work on.
I see. Okay, that does make sense. Okay, number 6. What advice do you think one should know financially before attempting to become an occupational therapist? And should this impact a person's choice to go for it? Why or why not?
OT makes great money, actually. Depending on the setting. So if you're really looking for study purposes, I guess, you would probably strive for more pediatrics and skilled nursing as opposed to outpatient and hospitals, which pay less. But that really depends on the person. If you're really going into this profession, which I hope anyone wouldn't, just for the money, then that's something that you would need to consider. But I honestly think that you should just go for whatever you want so it won't feel like work. I enjoy my job, so it doesn't feel like work. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Number 7, do you feel that your work and the other areas of your life are well balanced? Provide your reasons.
Yes. I do feel like work, family, friends, boyfriend, I think they're all well balanced because that's something, as you grads typically want to work all the time because we saw that fire, but it's really important that you really don't get burnt out in the beginning, and that's what a lot of therapists have issues with. So just making it a priority to work, but also have a family, friend, and or relationships, and even fitness is really important, but you have to make that a priority of your own.
Yeah, of course. Okay, number 8, how well do you manage your professional growth and your personal growth? Do you prioritize one more than the other? Explain.
I think I manage them very well. For professional growth, we have what is called continuing education, where we take classes and courses to gain more strength within our field, and we're actually required to take a certain amount of credits or units, I guess you could say, within 2 years. And then my personal growth, between those two, I would say I used to do professional growth, but I think I now cater to growing personally, which will help my professional growth as well. So now, like right now, especially, I'm honed into personal growth and like doing what's best for me, which and my quality of life. And when I'm on it with my quality of life, then everything else is that energy just goes for everything else too, including my job.
Okay. And then number 9, were you able to pursue mentally stimulating interests or hobbies before, during, and after your profession? What were they, and how did you find these or manage these into your life?
You mean before I became an OT, or like
Oh, so like before, during, and after. So all 3.
all three? Okay. Mentally stimulating interests or hobbies. Yeah. So before an OT, I think like honestly my main hobby right now is just like bodybuilding since I am like competing. So I'm really like into fitness right now.
Mm-hmm.
And before, I was doing it during grad school. It was obviously difficult because I really had to put all my effort into that. And then after, like right now, yeah, I can honestly say that I do that. Yeah, it's fairly easy as long as you prioritize it.
Oh, okay, awesome. And then lastly, do you enjoy your career? Why or why not?
Yes, I do enjoy my career. Like I said in the beginning, it's because you could go in so many different realms in whatever direction. Like for instance, like you could be an OT, like you do dance. There's an OT for yoga. There's an OT that does Tai Chi. So it really you go anywhere with it. It's like what profession can you go anywhere with anything? Like it's so amazing, and you could even open up like your own like facility or your own like rehab team based on whatever your interests are to cater to those in need, like with disabilities that want to, like, dance. But let's just say you want to teach little kids with dance, but that have disabilities that are like mentally disabled or like maybe have gone through stroke or have cerebral palsy. It's like you can really cater it to your own, and like that's what's great about this profession. And I enjoy my career so much, and I think everyone should be an OT.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you for this interview and taking your time out of your day for this. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that's it for the interview. But
Alrighty.
okay, thank you. Bye, Zini.
Bye.
Bye.